Hold on a minute. Look, I've gone and done it again. What an absolute melt. There you go. Good evening and welcome back to West Ham Network. Morning, Kieran.
Sorry, mate. It's the plane just going over. It's
There's always
can't hear much. Oh, it's gone now.
All right. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, brother. Good. Yeah, very nice.
Have you noticed I've revamped one of our old backgrounds for this evening?
I did. Just about. Yeah, of course. Put unfocus on the back. Yeah. Bring back a few memories.
Yeah.
A few good shows, haven't we?
I just thought I'd like to see this one again. Anyway, listen, we have got a guest this evening, and I don't want to leave him sitting in the green room too long, so I'll bring him in. You might know him as Rani Bubble. We know him as Jeff, and also, let me just demonstrate. He's also known as the Bowling Lounge. Now, there's a good reason for that, isn't there, Jeff?
Well, yeah, there is a good reason for it, but you put me on the spot a little bit, Buzz. You caught me a little bit unawares there.
Oh, no, I do this to people. I'm a horrible bastard. No, I'll tell you what it is, people. Jeff has just started out on the YouTube journey himself. He's created a channel called The Bowling Lounge. I invite you all to go and have a look. And he wants to invite people in to have a chat about football in general, West Ham mainly, but, you know, and chat about other stuff as well. I mean, you can talk about the weather, the shark attacks, anything you want. And Jeff will be there to chat to you about them. So we'll have some more details on the Bowling Lounge a little bit later on. Let's just say hello to a few people that are in here. We know that Happy's here and Steve Cox is in the house. Your countdown, good evening. Bob Dylan. He's secretly married to David Sullivan. Could be. Who? Usual. Good evening, usual suspect. Saying hello to everybody. Toha is in the house. Good evening, Toha. John and Sterling's. And your countdown again. Moyes set to sign a new 5-year contract at West Ham. Great. Well, good job, my shotgun.
Stop lying.
My shotgun takes 2 cards. You know. Right. Paul William in the house. Good evening to you. Good evening, Matt and Jonathan Boyce. Good evening to you. Her again. James Bong, Mr. Bong. Oi, he says. Early Doors Football TV. Tony, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. And there's Mikey. Rob Singleton's in the house. Barry Carpenter's in the house. And Happy again once again. Right, so Jonathan's saying, what's the damning with Moyes then? Right, okay. Them fucking birds are going to get shot one day, I'm telling you. Right, okay.
They just heard the word fucking Moyes and have gone off their tits. That's all we have.
Oh, gosh. And lots more people turning up in the chat. Crosshammer's in the chat. Mr. Tiley, good evening, Steve. Martin is in the chat. Jack Hewitt. Let's hold up. Where did he go? Look, he disappeared like that. Look. Scott's oh, goodness sake, look. Scott's in the house and Dick Ragg is in the house and Mark Watson. And let's go back to the chat in a minute. Let's just start that one so that we can come back to it. Right, okay. The damning news about Mr. Moyes. Okay. Let me share my screen. Right. Okie dokie. Right, here we go. According to Sky Sports today, David Moyes' future at West Ham, for some supporters, this is about much more than results. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? Right, so basically, West Ham's 6-0 defeat to Arsenal sparked an outpouring of frustration, no shit, Sherlock, that has been building towards David Moyes for some time. Enough is enough. Basically, I agree with that. So, David Moyes, he said, let's be fair, over the last 3 years, it has been the best time for West Ham. That West Ham have ever had. 6th and 7th in the league, semi-final of the Europa League, final of the European Cup, and I still think the club has grown. That's what David Moyes said.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, just from his arrogance of saying that, he can fuck right off. Because it isn't the best time we've ever had. Simple as that.
No. It's probably, if you look at it statistically, it's probably the best, statistically, it's the best 3-year period we've had in a row, ever. But, the guy goes on to say he's got a point. Take a step back, and West Ham are no crisis club. The silverware that was craved has been delivered, and they remain above supposedly more upwardly mobile clubs in the Premier League table. Who's more upwardly mobile than West Ham currently? I mean, everybody.
There's a few, isn't there?
What else was the other part? The other part I wanted to point out. Yeah, here we go. This was it. Now, the sequence of passage they call pressing play, basically. Liverpool being at the top of the chart right now, and West Ham being right at the bottom. I don't know what that number 249 means, but even Sheffield United look well above us, and Everton and all the other cannon fodder below us. Apparently, we are bottom with what was that? Sorry, opposition passes allowed per defensive action. So we're allowing 18, or no, actually, we're not bottom. We're second from bottom. But anyway, it's quite high. What's that? High turnovers. Turnovers in the opposition attacking third, basically. Our attacking third. West Ham second from bottom. Only worse team, Sheffield United. Progress against meters. I have no idea what that's about. And that looks like a confusing load of jumble to me. Basically, what is going on is that the media have decided that because we've lost 5 games in a row, that there's a crisis. Well, we knew there was a crisis a long time before these 5 games in a row that we lost. Give us your outlook on it, Jeff. What do you think, at the moment?
It's pretty shocking, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, from the Bristol game, the 2 games, thereafter, we've been dreadful, haven't we? I mean, Brighton, I could maybe sort of suffer it. It wasn't a good performance, but they're a decent side, right? And it's not the worst result. It wasn't the greatest performance. But, I mean, Bournemouth, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I can't work out how we went to Man United, played the way we did at Old Trafford. Okay, we lost. But it wasn't a dreadful performance. In fact, it was probably one of our better performances, right? And now we've got absolutely had our pants pulled down against Arsenal. I mean, that's dreadful. I mean, there's so much wrong with that Arsenal performance. It's a struggle to know where to start with it.
No.
I reckon it started from before they even emerged from the dressing room. I would imagine that they had already resigned themselves to the fact that they were going to get a drubbing. They
Do you
didn't
know
come
the
out
thing
of
is
that.
with that? Sorry, Budgie. The thing is
Yeah,
with
no,
that,
it's all
for maybe 20 minutes or half hour, I'm not trying to say we were particularly, we were getting dominated, but aside from a great save from Areola from Saka, in that first 20 minutes, half hour, they didn't create like masses of opportunities, and it's hard to say we were in the game, but you know, didn't look like it was going to. Once that first goal went in, there was an absolute collapse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, did you watch the game, Kieran? Or did you,
Oh,
did
yes.
you not bother? Oh, you did?
Well, I watched it, but I didn't watch it live. And this is where my head is with West Ham or fucking Moyes at the moment, because we'd normally stay up as a midnight kickoff for me. And me and my boy would stay till midnight, stay up till 2 a.m. and watch it. The last fucking half a dozen games, we don't. We just go to bed, and I get up at 5:30 in the morning. And before I see anything about the game, I'll watch it. It's live to me at 5:30 in the morning because I know nothing about the game, and I watched it then. But
Yeah.
nothing surprised me about this game. And I'll tell you why. This is where my head's at. And I think I'm on the money nearly where West Ham are headed. And I said it last week or the week before that I can see the shit coming. I can see this coming. And I think Moyes can see it coming. And that's why he was throwing out that, he might leave if he don't get a contract bullshit last week. I think he's pushing that narrative because he can see it coming as well. And the Man United game, I predicted we'd lose 4-0. The Arsenal game, I predicted we'd lose 3-0. Now, I predicted over 2 games we'd concede 7 goals and not score. We conceded 9 and didn't score. So I weren't that far away on them 2 games, because you can see we're losing the players we lost in that window. We shipped out Kehrer, Fornals, Benrahma, and brought nobody bar a lone signing. And you could see that if you're putting your second choice right back at left wing, this is desperation stakes here. This is desperation stakes, right? He might have done a job. Of course he weren't going to do a job. It was never going to work. Arsenal just absolutely pounded us, but it was coming. And it's not hard to see. And there's going to be more. We're lucky we've got a run of fixtures coming up that are winnable. If you've got the likes of Paquetá, we got to rely on Antonio now, and we're going to need him, boy. We're going to need him. Yeah. And if they're back, it might give us a shot. The arm, we might play better. But as soon as that first goal went in, it was all over. Game was over. And then that tsunami of backing attack from Arsenal just kept coming and coming and coming. And we weren't up for it. We got Zuma just looked completely broken. The more I see of Aguerd, the more I think he's not good enough in this system. Right? Sitting deep and trying to defend it. He's just not. He was terrible. The pair of them were terrible. I mean, he hooked Zuma at half time. There's no surprise. But I think Aguerd could have been hooked as well if he had someone else. But it was coming then.
Yeah.
You said that again. Can't sit deep, can't defend deep. But we pressed up towards the halfway line and got caught for the penalty. I mean, so we can't defend high or deep, can we?
No, we can't. This is where we're at. Got caught out even that when we came up a little bit. So if you're going to sleep in a low block, you've got to. And you've got to remember, this is a game that could have been 8, 9, 10. Easily be that. 2 cracking saves by Areola and a couple of misses, I'd say, by Arsenal. They could have easily had 9, and quite frankly, near the end, I was laughing when the 5th goal went in. I started laughing. I just got over the angry stage, started laughing. And I was hoping that it would be 8 by the end. I was, to really make a statement, and maybe the Moyes thing might get pressured even more of changing him. But we're not going to change him. That's not going to happen. But that was just so limp. And I wish I'd done. I should never ever watch Moyes post-match interview. I never watch him. I had to watch this one, and yet again, Yet again, he goes back to how good West Ham have been for the last 3 years. And we won a job. How great it is at West Ham. It's not. It's dire football. It's shit. And now the luck's run out that we had in the first half of the season. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Now we've got Moyes ball, right, exposed. And this is what's going to happen. When we play a good team now, we're going to get done. We can't rely on luck or a bit of brilliance from Paquetá. We've got to play as a team. And we're not. There's no team football there, mate. It's just woeful. So that's where we're at. So, and like I said at the beginning, we'll finish between 8th and 10th. And I think now 10th is looking optimistic. So we'll see.
To
Well,
roll out the line after the 3 years we've had the Europe after that performance. I mean,
yeah,
he's got some brass neck, isn't he?
Look, even when Pep Guardiola, right, and they ain't had the best start to the season, Man City at the beginning. They lost games they shouldn't have lost. I don't remember him, having a loss and turn out. Oh yeah, but we were the treble winners last year. He doesn't go back to that. That's gone. That's history, and he knows that. Pep's only looks at the next game. What's forward? What's happening? What happened today, and what the next game is going to happen. He don't look back to the 3 trophies and 4 trophies. You call that World Championship bollocks that he won as well. He doesn't refer to that as to defend himself for a performance. Moyes does it every time, man, as if to justify how shit that game was. That what we've done in the past. I fucking hate it, man. Hate it. Anyway.
What's
the
there's been a few really good comments. But I'm going through them as best I can. But I do like this comment. Happy says she's not saying that Moyes is right to stay or that he's right not to stay, and that he's not in trouble. How many sticks do they want to beat him with? Well, the thing is, they're trying to beat him with as many sticks as they can because clearly the consensus of opinion is to get him out, to get him gone. And the more sticks you beat him with, the worse it sounds for him, doesn't it? So that's it. What else have we got? Wouldn't even trust Moyes or Sully with the nuclear buttons. Definitely not, Mikey. Definitely not. Something hiding down under. Good.
Mate, they already pressed the nuclear button when they blew up the Bolin. Already done that.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. There's another expat down there with you, look. Forget his bloody name now.
Is it Ryan?
Ryan, that's it. Yeah, that.
Thanks, Ryan, isn't it? Good day, Ryan.
Yep. Good day, mate. And morning to you, sir. Arsenal, Liverpool, Fulham, Aston Villa, all being embarrassing results, and then for us to win only 2 games this season convincingly says it all. Yeah. And I was at both.
And it's not this isn't a reaction to this season. It's not this season. It's last season. We won a trophy I believe we should win in the Conference League. We had the biggest squad. We had the richest squad in the whole competition. There's no reason why we shouldn't win it. The same reason I believe Aston Villa should go and win it this year. They should win it. And not to win it is a failure. Our Premier League was a disgrace last year. We had about 35 games battling relegation. It's not just this season. It's not the style of football. We've been shit in the Premier League for over a year and a half now. So this is where we're at. And these fucking pundits that keep saying, be careful what you wish for, the grass is not. Shut the fuck up, man. You ain't watching 90 minutes of it every week. I'm watching what he's doing with some great players that we've brought in are absolutely stifled. They really are. And you think we're going to keep Paquetá to the end, after the end of the season? I think he can't wait to get out. Can't wait. And Kudos won't be far behind it. Yeah. So all that great buying of players is going to come to an end if we don't sort this out. And I go back to what I've been saying all season is that we have got a massive rebuild coming. And I don't care what manager's in charge next year. I think they're going to have a hard season. And I keep saying about 8 out. So I wrote the names down, Geezer. I just put this. This is what I believe. We've already lost 3 of them. Remember, and they're included because we haven't replaced them. So we're looking at Fornals, Benrahma, Kehrer, already gone. Then we're looking at getting rid of Cresswell, Ogbonna, Ings, Cornet, Antonio. Right? And then the question marks at Mumama and Johnson, the only 2 youngsters we're prepared to use, right, won't sign a contract. Paqueta's probably going to be gone. Fabs is probably going to be gone. And all we've got is Phillips on loan, which I think he'll go back to Man City or someone else will get him. So when you add all that up, mate, that's about 11, 12 players we've got to replace in the summer. That is some job to do.
And we've got to stay within FFP.
And that's a job that should have been started last month.
Yes, that should have been the start. What are you saying, Steve?
I was
Jeff,
saying
not
that we've got to
Steve.
stay within FFP. Right, so
Yes, that's true.
Right, and there's not going to be much income off of some of these players that go,
No.
if any.
Exactly. See, that the point is there. When you look at all them players, what money is there in all them players? Hardly any. It's next to nothing. So
you got to look at it. You're going to get bugger all for Fabianski. You're going to get bugger all for Ogbonna. You're going to get nothing back on Phillips. In fact, he will have cost us money.
It's cost us money. Cresswell's nothing.
Cresswell's nothing. Antonio's nothing. We might be lucky to get 15 quid for Cornet. We might be lucky to get,
another 10.
We might be lucky to get a fiver for him. You know what I mean?
No, it's negligible the money we're going to get in from these players. So, like you said, Steve, financial fair play, we've got to spend, man. We've already spent half a billion quid, right? And we've got half a team, if that.
Kieran, it's Jeff, not Steve.
Sorry, did I say Steve? Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
Steve, Jeff, Ronnie,
that's better. Yeah, call him Ronnie. Okay, well, let's move on a little bit from the David Moyes.
Yeah, from the depressing shit.
It's depressing as fuck. Let's talk about something really exciting, and that is the future of Mr. Steidten. Now, that doesn't look too rosy either, to be fair. There's a lot of talk about him disappearing. Apparently, we've lost. Hang on, I will tell you exactly who it is. His name is Jake. Hold on. Jake Heath, right, is a guy that's left. He is the head of supporter engagement. So he basically deals with complaints and requests for, whatever. He's left, apparently. And John Ratomski, who heads up the Iron Supporting Food Bank thing. By the way, gentlemen, ladies, please consider dropping a quid in the bucket when you go past them on match day. Always helps. Anything helps. Apparently he's moving on, but we've got a replacement coming in next month from Chelsea, who is a young woman. I don't know her name yet, but the head of supporter services will now be a woman that's come from Chelsea.
Well, she's going to be coming into a nice atmosphere with the supporters, isn't she? She's going to learn a lot.
So we've got a Chelsea fan coming in as head of supporter liaison or whatever, and we've got a Spud who's head of our social media or something.
Yeah, not bad.
Just about sums them up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Doing well. God.
Exponential, good evening to you. The proof that Paqueta is relied on to make something out of nothing is evident in the fact that without him, we see what's left. Literally nothing.
Not that I think that would have mattered against Arsenal, mate, because that one man there, whatever he was creating, wouldn't have stopped that avalanche. You know what I mean? Our defence was absolutely woeful. That's the first time I even saw Emerson really get caught out. But it was wave after wave after wave of attack on him. And I don't think he had the greatest game, but such is life. I don't, you can't knock him for that because he has been our most consistent player all season. So I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking Emerson for that. The rest of them.
I thought the tone was set when Areola tried to release the ball quickly on 8 minutes and gave such a hospital ball that Alvarez dives in and gets his fucking booking.
That started it, mate. Yeah, on a booking straight away, though. Yeah.
I've got one or two little stats from this season so far. Right, the lowest possession in a match win, 22% versus Brighton away. That's one of the stats. In the 7 matches won with under 26% of possession, West Ham have won 4 of them. And of the 96 clubs in the major European leagues, only 6 have had less possession than West Ham, and all 6 of them are 15th or lower in their leagues. So there you have it. I reckon that sort of gives us an idea that we should be.
But that 22%, geezer, that's a stat Moyes would be proud of.
I know.
To have 22% and win the game. Oh, I'd be delighted with that.
And he was on the day. I was at that game. Right?
No, that was a great counter-attacking game, Budge. We actually got it right.
It was actually a masterclass at that day.
Yeah.
And I thought that Antonio probably took one of the best goals of his life there. When he took that double little jink. And he went, but the one where he did the little double jink for the 3rd goal, I thought that was just classic. That classic centre forward movement, that is.
But
and I really enjoy watching that.
It works 1 out of 10 games. This is the problem.
Yeah, that is very true. That's very true.
The thing about the Brighton game was, Areola had a great game, by the way. They could have had 2 or 3 themselves easily, right? But the flip side of that is we could have easily had 6 that day. Yeah. So I thought it was a brilliant performance at Brighton.
It was, yeah. No, it was. That's when it was at its best in that game. That was at its best. The finishing was quality. We took our chances. That's it. It was at its best, but that's it. How often you see that? And like you said, we still needed, even with the low block and the counter attack with 22%, we needed Areola to be man of the match to win that game.
Yeah.
So
that's
a lot.
I mean, also we had a really good game against Chelsea at home as well. That was a really good game.
Yeah, that was Antonio's other goal. That was a super goal he scored that day as well.
Yeah. Actually, that was also the same game I bumped into Stuart Slater and McAvenny outside the stadium. Bumped into them.
What Ryan said there, Moyes should have said, I just got it wrong. No, he won't. He won't, because what happened there in that game against Arsenal was people voted with their feet at half-time and legged it, right? And I don't blame any of them. I think they should have legged. I think the whole stadium should have walked out.
I was one of them.
This is him deflecting, because that was the West Ham Sports Zone was sick of this shit. I didn't need to do a poll on this. That was the poll. The people leaving. And there's Moyes. So what does he do? Revert back to how good we've got it. And we should be fucking grateful for what we're watching. No, we're not. We're not fucking grateful for it. It's shit. And this rest of this season is going to show you. Mate, and I'll tell you what, Sullivan and Moyes will be coming under serious fucking pressure by the end of this season.
Yeah. Well, when at half time, when I decided I was going to go, well, it was before I decided I was going to go. I went downstairs, went to the bar, bought myself a pint, and then I thought, actually, I'm going to drink this and bugger off. And then, like, all I could hear around me were people going, just open the fucking door, mate. I want to get out. That's all you could hear. The smoking area was near enough half empty, and everybody was heading for exits. It was incredible. You could just hear people saying, "Mate, just open the door and let us out, will you?" No, you got to go all the way down there. Well, mate, it was ridiculous.
Do you know, then you know what sickens me as well, boys? I'll tell you this now. This fucking TalkSport and all these gaslighting bastards who keep saying, what's the matter with you? You've never had it so good and all that crap. They're also teeing themselves up if Moyes does get sacked, right? Right.
Yeah.
If he gets sacked, like I said, next season is going to be tough for any manager that comes in. It really is. When you see that rebuild. So, and when it isn't going so well, they're going to, again, then they're going to turn around. Told you, you got rid of Moyes. You got rid of Moyes, and now look what's happening. It's going to happen even if we got Moyes or not, because we're not going to be able to replace all them players, mate, and really compete at the top half of the table. I can't see it. It has to be a miracle, especially if you believe the rumours that Stuyton, he's flashing his knickers now at Liverpool. So you take him out of the equation, and then you really are up against it. So these pricks on TalkSport and all these other pundits that keep backing Moyes and then condescendingly talk to West Ham supporters if they don't know what they want. Get the fuck. They're doing my head in.
Don't beat about the bush, Kieran. Say what you mean.
Oh, well, it just annoyed me, mate. I was watching them pricks on TalkSport. And they keep doing it, mate, but they're lining their pockets. They know. They gaslight West Ham fans to phone in, and then they come in, and then they slaughter them, and you've never had it so good. And they know, even when a new manager come in, it's going to be a struggle. They know that. And they can't wait for that to happen so they can go, told you so. Fucking arseholes. I can see them teeing it up right now.
Yeah.
Shit cunts. Anyway.
My apologies for the word.
But fair play to everyone and yourself, Bud, for walking out, because that's all it deserved, that performance.
Yeah.
All it deserved.
I mean, the thing was, it was the attitude in the stadium when I decided I was going to go. The attitude in the stadium, or sorry, not the attitude, but the atmosphere was just so depressive and tense. And I mean, I can only speak for the section that I was in and the sections that I had to walk through. But it was so, I mean, like nobody, and I mean nobody, had anything to say other than open the doors or come on, let's go and get a drink, or, I mean, you could catch the odd bit of conversation, but nothing. There was nobody giggling, smiling. There weren't nobody skipping down the fucking concourse. It was ridiculously depressing. And I didn't even bother going back to the pub afterwards. I went past it with a couple of guys I was walking with. Went past the carpenters, and they went, "Oh, come on, we're going in here." And I went, I don't really want to. And I put my head in through the door, and I saw a couple of people I know, and I just waved, and I went, "See you later, boys." And went.
Yeah, don't blame you.
Even the DJ was just standing there, Paul. He weren't even playing no music. Hardly anybody was looking at the TV screen. It was just crap. Sullivan out. Yep, I agree. Oh yeah, hold up, look. Maltese Hammers. I don't know what's been going on. I haven't really been reading it. I've just been popping them on the screen. And he says, "We ain't going to argue with you, HH. That's a really good philosophy in life." Let me tell you. Went to my first match, aged 8, at the bowling ground. That was 63 years ago, says Joseph. Wow. Went to watch us win both FA Cups and cheered on the magnificent 3 World Cup winners. I'm not going to watch any more Moyes football.
Oh, fair play, Joseph. Well, fair play. I can understand exactly how you feel, because I'd say all of us here, especially you, Joseph, you must be older than me or Budgie. We have
Well,
seen
he's
great
71.
football, and we have seen good times. This isn't the best era this last 3 years I've ever watched West Ham. You know, even at 80, 81, we got to 2 cup finals. We went to the Charity Shield as well. You know, we've won a European trophy before. We've been in another European final before. It isn't the greatest time I've had at West Ham. It was good to win the Conference League. And we've got to remember, this is the diluted cup competition that we won. That Winners' Cup we won was far better and far harder to win. So, no, Moyes is bullshitting himself, right? Trying to convince everyone that he's the greatest, and all them wankers at Talk Sport and all them pundits believe it and want to back him because they're all fucking mates.
Yeah.
Bollocks
But like he said in his inaugural interview when he came back to the club, I'm a winner. I'm sorry, but fucking hell. I mean, that's just as bad as saying, what is it? What did he say? I am the chosen one, or whatever it is he said.
I mean, the 86 season is the best season I ever watched West Ham.
When
we had Cotty McAvenny. Man, what a season that was ago.
They were amazing. Should have won the league that year.
Yeah.
And
we should have won the league.
You know what? I watched. I keep up with the Ironcast podcast. You know, with Ginge and I forget the guy's name now. I'm always forgetting his bloody name. But yeah, the podcast, and they were talking to Freddie Canuti, the most recent one. It's a really good watch, actually. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it.
He kind of reminds me, now that he's in a studio scenario, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Thierry Henry. His demeanour is very similar.
Yeah, not his football. Not his goal scoring.
No. But do you know what? When he went to Sevilla, he had like a goal in every game and a half.
I thought he was a great player, Fudge, to be honest. I loved him.
Loved him. You know, he was brilliant. But yeah, unfortunately, he went to the white side of North London, which is unforgivable for us. But like he explains in the Ironcast video that I watched, he says, you know, because I'm not a Londoner or even from England, I didn't understand. And the word I think he wanted to use was the tribal rivalry.
Yeah.
He couldn't think of that word. But that's what he was alluding to. And he said he didn't understand it. And to me, it was just another step in my career.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Know?
I can understand that from a corner. There was 11 players that didn't understand it against Arsenal last week. And the fucking manager. Easy.
Oh, gosh. I'm getting blinking messages now. Terrible.
Probably saying how shit I am, Budgie.
Hey?
They're probably saying how shit I am.
No. No, these are like Facebook reels and memes and things like that. They're from, let's call him, whatever it was, 1898 or whatever it is. Pops, if you like. This person knows who I mean. Her father. Scott, did you see the Steiner interview today? I haven't even seen that, I've got to be honest. I missed it.
I've seen the transcript of his interview with German Sky.
Yeah.
And basically, he's flashing his knickers at Liverpool. That they asked him whether there's been interest from Liverpool for you, and he was delighted and said, "Yeah, well, they haven't got in contact with me yet, so we'll see what happens." He was basically saying, "Well, if you want me, come and fucking get me." So I've got a funny feeling.
Kind of been knocking about for a couple of days, hasn't it? Without much substance to it. But then this bit's come out, and you've described it. I mean, he kind of did flash his knickers, really, didn't he?
Yeah. The way you interpret it is up to yourself, but it is. is saying, "Come and get me if you want me," and that's not good. I think I said it at the time, Jeff, that I thought Steidman was the best signing we've made for years. You know, when we got him, I went, "Wow, this is progress. This is looking to the future." And to have that future to run out the door already, that would be disastrous. Absolutely disastrous.
Here's the thing: they're sort of like, certainly in the YouTube world, the premise that we're going to lose him because of Moyes and they can't get on and this, that, and the other. I don't really know about that.
No, I think that's guessing.
We will lose him because of Sullivan.
That's the problem.
He's turned him over this January, right?
Yeah.
That's my view. I don't know. I've got no information or whatever.
No.
That's just my opinion. Sully's just stuck his digits all over it, right? And he's probably looking, thinking, what the fuck am I doing here?
He has to have full reign to do what he wants. And I believe that means bringing in a manager as well. But, whether he's got that authority to do that, nobody knows. People seem to think that Sullivan's kiboshing him. So, but it is a lot of conjecture. We'll see. It'll play out. But what the more poignant thing is going to play out, even Stein in place, how do we get, how do we replace, 13 players? How does he play? It should have started in January. We should have, to lessen the blow of next summer's transfer window, we should have had 3 or 4 in this one.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
That was us dreaming. Yeah, we were dreaming.
But he's going to come up with a bag full of scallops, isn't he, for the money we've got?
Oh, man.
Yeah, the trouble is that with this FFP ruling and everything else, it's going to be extremely hard for us to replace everybody that we need to.
Well, that's why you need Steinen to get up some gems that ain't that dear. Instead of paying 30, 40 million for players, we want to be paying 10, 15. Then you've got a chance. But I said, even when you integrate that many players, we've seen it with Forest the other year, didn't we? I think they brought 1,600 players, and they had to try and manage. Somehow they survived, but it weren't very convincing, was it? I mean, had a different team out every week. But it's a hard task to integrate all them players and perform well in the Premier League. So there is a hell of a task coming up in the summer. And if you take Steinen away from that, wow, who the fuck's going to do that? We're going back to him, Sullivan being, football director or director of football, what you want to call him, bringing him in? Oh, my God.
The only hope we've got really is, if we do get a new manager in, and this crop of youngsters that we've got, that the new manager can get the best out of those, bring a few in. I mean, we can't expect to fill all those slots with youngsters. That's just not happening, right? But if we can integrate a few of them into the team and then spend some money well, we might be okay. But it's still a massive rebuild. That's not going to be like, well, let's go top 6, let's push for top 4 with the kids and whatever we can buy. So it's a massive rebuild for whoever it is. And let's get it right. If Moyes gets another contract, then kids ain't getting brought through. And not unless he ain't got no choice and that's all he's got.
No, they're not. The only 2 we do give minutes to here and there is Johnson and Mubama. And yet neither of them will sign a contract at this stage. That's the only 2 you'd actually will give them a few minutes here and there.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder.
Oh.
Maybe he's chosen those 2 to give minutes to because they're the ones that don't want to sign it. So he can say, well, I did my best.
Marshall's a prospect, isn't he? I mean, I hope he does really well out on loan, comes back next year, can break into the first team.
He looks like a prospect, Jeff.
Yeah, I haven't seen very much of him, but the few minutes that he did get there, I thought, hey, he's got a bit about him.
Yeah.
More than Mubama, if I'm honest, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think the same. Jeff. I think he has got a prospect, but it's still a massive leap from where they are to the Premier League, you know, and you've got to accept that, you know. But I'm hoping that boy's got potential, Marshall. Hopefully we might see him next season. Next season we might get to see him a bit, like.
Yeah, with a bit of luck, if we have a change in manager.
Yeah, of course. Well, and we've got to. Look, if this ball sign up Moyes again, mate, it'd be disaster. I mean, disastrous for West Ham. It'd be crazy. Yeah. If you remember the protests before? They will be a lot worse if we give him a 3-year contract. It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
It'd be disastrous.
I mean, the scary thing is, you know, if he stumbles his way to the Europa League and wins that, and then we qualify for the Champions League, I mean, he probably will get a new contract, right?
Champions League. Can you imagine that team in the Champions League?
No.
Like, after that, watching Arsenal or Man United.
Can't fucking beat Bristol City, and then we're going to go to the Champions League. Fuck me, it'd be an embarrassment.
You got an manager there had a chance beating Liverpool, went out and put a fucking second team out.
Yeah, that was disgraceful.
That's what we got here, mate. Right.
Yeah. David Dino Moyes.
Oh, shit, that.
Right, Jonathan says he's with you, lads. Their narrative on TalkSport: West Ham are shit and deserve to have a crap manager.
Yeah.
While their clubs are amazing and above us, and other clubs should not be in tournaments as it lowers it.
Yeah, I see it, mate. Yeah, it sickens me the way they go on. You know, as if we should be grateful for what we got. Fuck off. For watching that crap week in, week out. For I said, it's not this season, it's last season. All of last season, it was drivel.
The thing is with Moyes, I mean, this is where I am with Moyes, where I've always been with Moyes, if you like. When he came in, first time around, I had my head in my hands like, oh, fuck me, no, right? You know, I joined in with all the Frank Spencer stuff. And at the end of that, when they went, thank you, David, you've taken as far as you can and all of that, I thought, I don't know, he probably earned himself a contract there. Yeah. And they went, now see you later, and brought in Pellegrini, right? And that went well. So when he came back, I was like, oh, good luck to you, mate. You've got something to prove. And to be fair, it took us from relegation threatened the following season up to 6th, took us to a semi-final of the Europa League, got 7th, we won the trophy. Like, it's hard to argue with that, right? I know we finished 14th in the league the year we won the trophy. That was poor. And here we were this year, up to a few weeks ago, up in 6th. And whether you like the football or not, and I mean, it is dross, right? But it was hard to argue with the league position. But you look at these performances, right, and the way we're falling away now, and it's dreadful. I mean, we are fucking rubbish, aren't we?
Yeah, dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. No, we had a good season that season, Jeff. I really enjoyed it. But we were a counter-attacking side who were counter-attacking. When we had Antonio probably at his best, we had Bowen coming in. We had, Rice becoming the player he was. Cresswell was doing well that year. Ogbonna was fantastic. You know, you brought in Souček and Sofal, who hit the ground running. They were really good. Boosted them by Lingard coming in for his cameo. It was a really good Dawson coming being a good centre. It was good. It was good. Everyone was at their best then. Now they're not. Now we're years later.
God, what we could do for having Craig Dawson now. We'd kill for him.
Right now. But this is it. You can't keep looking to the past. And this is say Pep Guardiola don't. He's judging what's going on now. Same as Klopp. They don't care about what they did in the past. It's what they're doing now. So it's been, thank you very much, Moyes. And it should have happened at the beginning of this season. See you later. And let him leave on a high. Let him leave with that, that first trophy of his career under his belt. But no, we didn't. We want to string it out and let him finish his contract. And sooner or later, when things ain't going well, these types of managers like Moyes, revert to type. They just think, right, we can't score, we're not winning, we must just sit back and hope for the best. This is the type of manager. And we can't defend. We can't defend either.
But we do it with players as well, don't we? We keep them on a bit too long. Like the old Bonner thing,
we do.
His injury. And then we said, oh, well, we'll reward you with an extended contract. And I think most of us as fans were kind of like, oh, that was decent and all the rest of it. But here we are now. The consequence of that is where we are now, the odd Bonner that we've got now. And I'm not slagging the guy off.
No, I loved him.
He's been brilliant.
One of my favourite players, Jeff. Great player. He's at the end.
Where we are now, he's not helping
us. And you know, the worst thing about it is, even if we kept him for his 10-year tenure, right, he ain't going to get a testimonial because they don't do them anymore.
But they don't need them anymore, do they, Budgie? To be fair.
No, they don't need. They don't need.
No, but it's nice for the fans to be able to say goodbye to them, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the sad thing, isn't it? With Fornells, that's the sad thing, right? You know, the way he ended up leaving there. He was in the squad that day. Then he's standing around at the tunnel looking at his phone. Am I going? Ain't I going? And then he's off out the door. He never got his goodbye.
Yeah.
Shit, isn't it?
And he is one of the players that actually bloody deserves a goodbye.
Yeah, I agree.
If you, Jeff, you look at our squad at the moment, you've got to have, and I've coached a few teams, played a few teams, you've got to have some kind of man management skills, especially with the players who are not making the first team. And what he did against Arsenal, I think this is unforgivable, what he did there. He told Cornet, mate, I'm going to put my second choice right back, who won't sign a contract for us. I'm going to stick him in your position against Arsenal. That's what I'm going to do, rather than play you, who's a left winger, and known to be a good left winger, supposedly. I'm going to leave you on the bench for the whole fucking game. Even when we're 4-0 down, even when we're 5-0 down, even when we're 6-0 down. Cornet, sit there. Now, if I was Cornet, mate, I wouldn't get off that bench ever again. And so you can stick it up your ass. Why couldn't he take Bowen off, stick Ings or Mubama on for the last 20 when we're 5-0 down, 6-0? Why not give them? What difference did it make? Save Bowen. This is man management. This is team management. Right, let's save Bowen. We don't want him getting injured in the last 20 minutes. He's doing nothing. So put him Mubama. Put him fucking Ings. It didn't matter. But yeah, he sat on his hands there. Moyes looking like a fucking stuffed turkey. Going, what's happening here?
I don't get the Cornet thing. I mean,
me neither.
Sheffield United, he got his goal, all that. Actually, I think the rest of the game, I don't think he was anything special at all. I thought he was pretty poor, if I'm honest. But we're going on for, we've got Johnson playing in his spot there. I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't that fucking bad, was he?
No.
He's not getting Johnson.
I'm not knocking Johnson for anything. I'm just looking at it Cornet's point of view. That's what you've done to me, Gaffer. You've put the second choice right back in my position rather than play me.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm not knocking Johnson either.
I'm not knocking Johnson.
No, you've got to do what you're told to do.
I think he's played pretty well the last few weeks, especially
he's done all right.
He's been shuffled.
He's done all right, Jeff.
Shuffled around there. But what I'm saying is, how do you start him there and you've got a guy that's his position, right? And he can't even get off the bench, like you said. It's just madness.
Exactly. Even for 20, bring him on to 20. Give him some for hope that he's still part of this squad. But he's not. So if he's not part of your squad, that's us. We got the fittest squad in the Premier League. So you take Cornet out, well, I'm not going to play you. There's another one gone.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, man. It isn't just about how shit we are. It's about how he's managing these players. And we've heard it before.
Agreed.
From Vlasic and Krau, when he brought in Krau online, he done his interview. How he never even talked to him. How he what the fuck is going on with this prick?
The man management thing about it, I get, right, but I'm not convinced Krau was ever good enough. if I'm honest.
Yeah, but to treat him like a leper, this is what I'm saying.
I agree.
You know what I mean? That's wrong. That can't be right. Don't give a shit if you're on the periphery or not. You are part of that squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you should be treated and with a bit of respect. He wasn't. Vlasic's the same. Too many.
I like this comment, right? I like this comment from from Scott, sorry. Simon from TalkSport called the Conference League a Mickey Mouse Cup and then argued with West Ham fans telling us to be grateful because he won us the cup.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah, that sums that prick up, mate.
Yeah.
He's a gaslighter, mate. Well, I like some of the shit Simon Jordan comes out with because he's quite cluey and he does make some good points. But he is a gaslighter for that fucking show because that's all it's about, TalkSport. Every headline, it's there to gaslight the West Ham fans so they'll phone in and go up and then they can ruin them with their serious logic and how we should be grateful. Mate, it's bollocks.
Yeah. Okay, right. Let's get on to lighter things, just briefly.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a guest in the house that normally isn't on screen up until now.
2 secs, guys.
As you all know, Mr. Rani Bubble or Jeff or whatever you want to call him.
Ralph.
The Bowling Lounge. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the Bowling Lounge is going to invite people into the studio to chat about football and all sorts of things in general as well. Okay. So, we created a little intro video for him. So I'm just going to play it. There you go. The Bowling Lounge. Don't forget the name. Look it up. To give the man a subscribe and all the good stuff that goes with it, please.
I did one thing there, Jeff. It said intelligent conversations, mate. That's me out the door.
Well, yeah, he didn't say he was going to invite you on, did he?
No, I can see. That's me not invited ever.
To be fair, Budgie put that intro together for me, and I did see that, and I thought, he set the bar pretty high for me there.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, it was a pleasure to do it. I love doing little stuff like that. I keep doing things for myself, and I never use them. I just do it to create them, just to practice, I suppose, really. So, yeah, it's good to do it. I did one also for the Facebook page, West Ham United Nostalgia page. I believe if you're on Facebook, give that a look because that's good stuff. There's no modern stuff on there, so there's no Moyes in, Moyes out chat or anything like that. It's all about the golden years of West Ham. The stuff we're all familiar with. So there we go. Kieran the Aussie joined John Wayne with that hat.
The horse at the back, mate.
Listen, mate, he's harder than John Wayne. He turns up on a croc. On the back of a shark. We can only surmise what we think is meant or what we think is going on behind the scenes. Just when everything is so depressing, it all seems so much worse. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. True. Absolutely. Next season will be the step-up year of the youth as back for many of the positions.
Jonathan, I think we might be needing them, mate. You could be damn right. We might be needing some.
Yeah. John agrees with David, whatever that was. I might have missed that one. That is what the manager is key, says Jonathan also. Absolutely great point. I mean, the fact is, we do need a manager because the one we've got at the moment isn't that much of a manager.
No, he's hanging on by his fingernails, and I think that's why he was pressing by his contract, mate. Because I can only see things getting worse for the rest of the season. I can't see them getting better, or we stabilise to where we are, or 10th. We might be able to do that, maybe.
Could you just imagine that? Could you just imagine that in that comment there? Elon Musk in, Sully out. Flipping hell. If he was to take over the club, oh my God.
Got a few quid, mate. Got a couple of quid.
Yeah. Got a pound or two in his pocket. Jack Hargraves is in good form tonight.
Yeah, I'm happy, mate. I didn't even give you a weather report, mate. That's how happy I am.
Oh, mate, haven't you? Oh,
No.
come on then. I'm going to have to do a jingle for that. I'm going to have to make a little jingle for your weather report.
Not been bad, actually. It's cooled down a bit, Budge. Right? It's hitting 29.30 today, but it has cooled down where it was at 35. It weren't very nice. It weren't comfortable. But, yeah, this last few days been really nice. Really lovely. Victoria, it's their turn at the moment. They're getting smashed with these mental storms down in Victoria. You know, roofs off, trees down, power lines down. So, yeah, it's the state of Victoria at the moment getting hammered.
Okay, so for those that are ignorant about the geography of Australia, how far away from you would that be?
About 15, probably a 15-hour drive.
15-hour?
Yeah.
If you drove for 15 hours in this country...
It might be more. I've driven to Sydney, but not anywhere in Victoria. And Sydney took me back then 12 hours to Sydney. And Victoria's well below Sydney, New South Wales, you know. So
Mate,
I'm guessing at least 15.
You can't even get across London in 15 hours. Fucking hell, no. Seriously though, if you used to drive for 15 hours in the UK, you'd pass your own house twice.
Yeah, true, mate. Now, them sort. Well, Sydney, I've done it in one hit, you know. But a lot of times people do that drive. You know, do it over 2 days. Stop at a motel. You know, do 6 or 7 hours one hit, and then the rest. It's quite common here, people doing that drive, though.
Yeah. Happy saying we have got to win this weekend. The mood of the fan base needs something to be happy about again. I agree, but it ain't going to be enough. Not just a win is not going to be enough.
Well, it's enough to stay an execution on Moyes, but it is a must-win, mate. It is a must-win.
Yeah, but
after that,
we didn't win. Moyes ain't going nowhere.
No, he's not going anywhere. But the pressure. The ridiculous, you know, I mean, it was only 3 weeks ago they're talking about giving him a fucking new contract. These losses stop them from doing that. So for him, it's a must-win, right? To hold on to whatever he's holding on to, and for us to finish in the top half of the table, it's probably a must-win. So,
yeah, that's a good point. God knows what Brooking, Bonzo, and Hurst make of it.
God, John, they'd be disgusted at watching this shit.
I can't promise a name as big as those three that you mentioned there, but I'm going to see if I can get either a guest appearance or a video from my good friend Craig Forrest and see if he will give us his opinions on what's happening at West Ham at the moment. We'll see what we can do about that, because an ex-player's perception may be very different to what we look at, you know. And let's be honest, an ex-player has no allegiance to David Moyes.
Yeah, I'm not sure Craig Forrest will be too happy about turning around and picking that ball out of his net 6 times. What do you think of that?
He had to do it on a couple of occasions where he picked it out.
I'm sure he did.
4 or 5 times.
Matthew Lenny doesn't seem too enamoured with the current situation, does he?
No. Look, he'd get plenty of game time, though, and plenty of workout, wouldn't he, Forrest, if he was in the team? He'd have to pull up a lot of saves. He might enjoy it.
I am going to skip right down to the bottom of the comments, which is this one here, right? And I'm going to keep that one on the screen for a minute. So what I'm going to do now is, we've just been saying that we believe that this weekend's game is a must-win game. Now, we've got 1 or 2 players coming back from injury, namely Mikel Antonio and Lucas Paquetá. With some luck, hopefully those 2 will be back.
Hopefully,
now, given given that, you know, this is a must-win game, let's have some score predictions from you lot in the chat. There's 120 odd people watching. Let's see how many of you give us a score prediction for this weekend. So, Thomas Tuchel will be a very good replacement for David Moyes at West Ham. I don't believe that myself, Reece. I don't think Tuchel is good enough for the Premier League. I really don't think he is.
Don't think he'll come anyway.
Michael Blees says Frank McAvenny is a good guest to have on.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
I imagine he would be, mate, but I have no way of contacting him unless I give Mr. Budden a little nudge in the ribs and ask him to be my mediator. But that's the only other way I know of getting hold of him, unless you know Michael. And if you do, let me know in the chat and we'll get in contact. Because I'd love to have Mr. McAvenny on here. I've spoken to him once and got a photograph with him after the Chelsea game this season. But
Legend.
Other than that, the closest I ever got to him was shouting out off the, side of the pitch. So there you go. What was that? I think David Moyes should become the new Bayern Munich manager. Mate, anywhere, as long as it's not the London Stadium. Anywhere. Troj says he finds Tuchel a bit creepy. Yeah. Imagine having a partnership of him and Steve.
Mate, I'll tell you what is brilliant. Because of the Xabi Alonso thing at Leverkusen, are absolutely playing great football and doing well. They played Bayern last weekend, didn't they? And done them. Yeah. And beat Bayern, right? I mean, that's top of the table clash. Can you imagine the thing that makes me laugh? I'm sure people said it before. For Harry Kane not to win a fucking thing at Tottenham, to go to Bayern Munich where you're guaranteed to win the league, to not win the league is absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. It's such a good thing. G'day, Damien.
Yeah, hello, Damien. Where are we? Right, okay. Sorry, we've got a couple of scores in.
2-1 Forest, Daniel. Confident?
Damien says 2-1 Forest. Mark Birchall also says 2-1 Forest.
Ooh.
Jonathan says 1-1 draw. Ralph enjoying the sun says 2-1 Forest. Toha says draw at best 2-2. Forest 2, West Ham 0. Steve Tiley. Ooh, ever the pessimist. 2-1 from early doors. Is that? Oh, West Ham. Yeah. Okay. Got you there, Tony. Hart says 3-1 to us. Yeah. Brain says 3-1 to them. Yeah, probably right. 2-1 feels right. Which way round, Trudge? I'll take it you mean 2-1 being Forest. Because it's at Forest, isn't it? We will come out blazing, them players are hurt. 3-1 the Irons, says Johnny Mack. Okay, nice, confident shout there. Cyclops says 2-2. Toha, that's a 4-4 revenge, HH. Yeah, I like that too. Happy, it's good. 2-0 says Mark Pendleton. Steve Grimshaw says 2-1 to Forest. Are you a maths tutor? I missed. Sorry. Even now, I would take a draw after last week's debacle. Alan, I agree with that, but I don't think a draw is anywhere near good enough. I think it needs to be 3-1 or better for us. For us to get any kind of momentum going, I think we need to really go out there and really boss it. Reece is 2-1 to West Ham. 3-1 to Forest from Lee. I think Elanga will destroy us again. He's banging form. And he ran Kufal ragged the last time we played them. Exactly right. And there are quite a few people I understand, that are now looking to link themselves with Elanga. Wasn't he at Arsenal?
He was at Man United, wasn't he?
Man United, that was it. Yeah, I knew it was red. Don't watch them unless they're in claret and blue, I've got to be honest. But yeah, Elanga, yeah, Anthony Elanga, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, apparently there are a few people looking to link themselves with, with him. So, yeah, let's see how well Forest do this season, though. At the moment, I can't score or defend, so we lose 2-0. Michael, I understand your approach there. We'll come back to that one. 2-2 for Steve. 2-2 for John. All right, okie dokie.
Sorry, guys.
I
just had to go on a killing. I just had to go on a killing mission. The big fucking paper wasp just come in and just went inside. I had to go and kill it. These paper wasps, mate, I've been stung before, man. They're dangerous.
Are they?
Anyway.
Is that what all the banging was?
Yeah, I was killing the shit out of it, man. They're big. I mean, these wasps are huge, right? I was cutting down trees a while ago, right? In the branches and that. And I must have had a little nest there, and the boy come straight at me, done me in the eye. I just about shut my eye, and it got me. My whole head swelled up for a week. So, yeah, I'm killing it. He's dead. Yeah. Any wasp lovers out there? Tough shit.
Damien said good day to you, by the way.
Hey, Damien.
Michael, please. Bayern lost again tonight in the Champions League.
All right. Oh, guys, first leg, isn't it? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's got that bad that facing aside 2 points off the bottom three, and the majority of us predict a loss. Sad times. Yep.
I do expect Moyes to get a point. I do expect him to get a result. I don't think we'll win, but I don't expect us to lose that one, even though I've been predicting we'll lose the others. But I think he has to get one, and he normally pulls it off, doesn't he, when he has to? So.
Yeah. I mean, Usual says 2-0 to Forest. Real Simpsons says 2-0. You know. Patrick Roberts. Reese, are you some kind of scout by any chance? Because he comes up with quite a lot of names. Wanted Elanga in the summer, says Damien. Yeah. I was never really that sure.
Yeah, I like him.
What is he? Right back? No, he can't be. He must be a left.
On the wing, isn't he?
He's on the left wing, isn't he?
Left wing, yeah.
Yeah, good boy.
He probably wouldn't get a game under Moyes, would he? He'd probably put Johnson there instead.
He'd probably put a green shirt on him and stick a number 1 on the back of it. Mark Birchall says, trouble is we win and Moyes stays. I believe he'd stay even if we lost, Mark.
Yeah, he's here till the end of the season, isn't he?
Trodge says that Felipe Anderson looks awesome now that he's left.
Sure he does.
Sebastian Haller. Marko Arnautovic just done bugger all since, but there you go.
One thing I'll say about Anderson is I thought when he was here, he had all the attributes to be a really good Premier League player, and he showed it on limited occasions. But I actually don't think he fancied it. I think it was too tough for him in the league, and I'm sure he's gone elsewhere, and he looks fucking brilliant, right? But I don't think he was up for it.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. And he is a talented player. Got all the skills in the world, man. The boy's class. But I don't think he was up for it at West Ham either, mate, to be honest. Yeah. I really don't.
Toa wants to know if my second team is Scunthorpe because I said if they don't wear claret and blue, I don't watch them. No, actually, no. No, I don't support Scunthorpe or Aston Villa or Burnley or any other team that want to pretend to wear claret and blue.
Or call themselves Iron.
Yeah, mate, the mighty hammers. That's it. How much did we sell Anderson for again? 26,000 was
Not a
it?
lot.
20
26
pence,
million?
wasn't it?
No, I think it was 26 million, I think. Somewhere
What we
around
sold
that.
him for, did we? Did we sell him for as much as that?
Or was that
No,
what we bought
we lost a
him?
lot of
No,
money.
we paid 32 for him, didn't we? Or somewhere around that.
I thought we lost more on him than that. But I
I
mean,
think
I
I'm sure
don't know.
we lost at least 20 mil on him. I'm sure of it.
Did we?
Yeah, I think so. But it doesn't matter. We lost a
I'm
lot of money
probably-
as we did with Alea, as we did with Skamaka.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As we did with Vlasic. As we did with Hugo.
As we probably will with others as well. Like, you know.
That was a strange one, wasn't it, Hugo? I mean, I just did that ever make sense?
I don't know. I never really knew a lot about Hugo. I've got to be honest.
No, I didn't. But I think we paid 10 million for him. You know, he's worth about £3.
Yeah.
Who was manager at the time? That was Sam, wasn't it?
No, that was Moyes.
Wasn't it?
That was his first signing, I think.
Was he?
Went the first time,
Yeah.
Budge. The first time he was there. Wasn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Jobs for the boys, I think, that one.
Yeah. He might have been a drinking partner of his dad or something, you know what I mean? Done his own
something like that.
I'll sign your boy for you, mate. Don't worry. I'll go to West Ham and I'll bring him there. I mean, like I said, I don't really know a lot about Hugo, but he did show a few glimpses of being a good player. Frankie McAvaney don't like Moyes, apparently.
Yeah, he would.
2-0 loss sounds the most realistic. Should we have a bit more about us than last week? Yeah, should we come back from that fighting?
But see, we can predict the scores now, but until you see that team sheet, that could change things. You know what I mean? We don't know if Paquetá and I'm presuming Paquetá won't be ready, but he might be. Antonio might be ready for the bench. And who knows? Who knows what field? What takes the field? You wouldn't know with Moyes. Is he going again with Johnson on the left, Luke Cornet to die on the bench? Is he going to continue with Bowen up front because it's not working? It's as simple as that.
If he don't fancy Cornet on the left, why don't he try him as a centre forward? He played as a centre forward.
He obviously don't fancy him at all, Budge.
Yeah,
any position.
He just don't want to play him.
Don't want to play.
Good night, Tony. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for the shout out earlier.
Yeah,
Tony.
He's a good lad, Tony. And hopefully I will see you on Sunday evening. I will be viewing at the very least. Yeah, I don't know. This Cornet saga is just ridiculous. I don't understand.
I don't know what he's like in training, Badger. He must be fucking bad. He can't be bad. I don't know, man. I don't know. But none of us will know until Cornet leaves, and then one day he will come out with an interview and tell you what the fuck was going on. Then we'll find out.
Yeah. But then, like a few weeks back, Mo Kudus gets out on that right-hand side and he pops the ball over to the back stick and Thomas Souček connects with it and buries it in the back of the net. And in the very next game, well, not the very next game, but within a couple of weeks of that happening, Maxwell Cornet goes and does exactly the same thing with the same result. So, he's obviously able and capable of performing to the standards that we need. He's not getting a run of games. Now, see, my belief is this, right? If Maxwell Cornet got, let's just say for argument's sake, the management said to him, right, you're going to get 4 games consistently, and we will only take you off after 70 minutes if you need to be, right? but you're going to get guaranteed to start 70 minutes. I reckon if he did that, if they did that, we would see a very, very useful player that hasn't been used. I know it. I'm sure of it.
In 2 years or whatever, he's hardly played, has he? He's had a few minutes here, a few minutes there. I don't think he's lit the world on fire when he's got those minutes, but he needs more. Like we talk about Phillips, comes in, he's not fit, he needs minutes, he needs to get match fit. Well, I mean, what's the difference between him and Cornet? Cornet needs exactly the same, doesn't he? He needs some minutes, he needs to get match fit. And he's got to be better than some of the options that we're using. I don't know.
I mean, you can only ask Moyes that. And he obviously, like I said, from the Arsenal game, he thinks not. He thinks not.
From any game, pick any game you like, and he thinks not. I don't know.
It is a mystery.
We've had mystery players in the past under Moyes, and you mentioned one earlier on in Alex Crowell. Now, was Alex Crowell just brought in to bolster the squad for numbers, with no intention of being played at
what's the point of that? That probably cost us millions, that loan move.
I know.
Millions.
Or was he brought in by, like Sullivan, and David Moyes went, I don't want him, don't need him, don't want him.
Yeah, more than likely that. More than likely that. But you know what I mean?
It's one of them times when Sully he was involved in everything, right? And here's this player, here's that player. I don't know this, right? It's pure speculation on my part, but I just think it smells like that to me. Yeah,
it smells like it. Jeff is right. It does, because he's a stubborn bastard, Moyes, isn't he? Yeah. I don't want him. I ain't playing him. If he wanted him, no matter what he does. Yeah, so I remember him playing it was at a cup game away at Man United. He did start him, and he had a really good game. Do remember that? Played quite well.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean anything, does it?
Apparently, we lost 20 million on Anderson.
On Felipe. Yeah, I think you're right, Trudge. And Elia, and Skamaka. There was a few quid gone down in him too.
Look. 3 million we got for him.
Oh, that's outrageous.
3 million.
Look, pound for pound, the best signing we've made since the Moyes era has been Dawson.
Yeah.
Cost nothing.
Paid 30 quid for him and sold him for 200. You know what I mean? It's brilliant.
You're right about that, about Dawson, but closely followed by Soufal and Souček, to be fair.
Yeah. No, that first season, Jeff. Yeah, that was good value. Great value.
Yeah. Trudge says that Hugill was some kind of scam.
Someone earned out of it.
I reckon that Andy Irving fella's some kind of scam. The fella's at Austria, where we buy him and send him back to Austria, and no one really knows who he is, and he's never going to play for us. What's that?
One for the future. One for the future, Jeff.
But
we'll never know who he is.
He's not even that. I don't get it. And we've got all our youngsters that we're dying to send out on loan, and we're sending like Freddie Potts to Wickham, which I know is doing brilliantly and all that. But if these are the kids that we want to bring into the Premier League, why are we sending them there? Like Marshall to West Brom, I get it. That makes sense. But out to League One sides and one thing, might as well send them out to fucking Austria if that's supposed to be some kind of whatever agreement going on. But we just buy this guy no one's heard of and then loan him back to him. He'll never be seen at West Ham, and we don't do anything else with him. Like, it's weird, isn't it?
Well, I can see the sense of it, Jeff. If this is an up-and-coming player that, for the future, is a prospect, and that's all they are at this stage. Usually a prospect.
26,
But-
isn't he, or
but
something
to-
like that?
But it will stop anyone else nicking him, you know, if he does really start getting good. So it might be worth that gamble. You know, it makes sense in that respect, if that's the reason.
I want to interrupt you there, mate. I'm going to bring somebody else onto the stage.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
Good evening, sir.
It's all right.
How you doing? Is all right?
Yeah,
all right,
good,
mate.
brother.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yep, just done a little cheeky recording for tomorrow morning, so get yourself prepared for that one, because I have a right good old moan.
Did you? Are you moaning up, are you, sir?
Yeah, mate.
Nothing to moan about, Anton. Everything's sweet. There's
I know,
nothing to moan.
everything's lovely. Everything's rosy. No, it's an interesting one, isn't it? You know, I'm listening to everyone's opinion. I'm listening to all the. I find it really interesting that today in particular, there's two really big reports coming out. One Sky Sports, another one from I think it's the Sun newspaper, that are looking in depth about how the West Ham fans are looking at the West Ham situation. I just find it really oddly timed, and you know, the story about Tim Steidten and you know, being flattered by the Liverpool situation and all that sort of stuff. Again, I just find it really odd, the timing of it. On the back of that big loss, on the back of some fans feeling the way that they do. And I heard just before I came on, actually, I jumped on and I heard you were talking about like the young lads and where they should go. Now, without trying to be like ITK, because we're not, but we do get a little bit of information. I'm on the understanding that Callum Marshall's move to West Brom was a Callum Marshall move, not a West Ham choice.
Right. Okay.
So what I
That's
mean by that is that his father is extremely active in the world of social media. And posts a lot and doesn't necessarily give away a lot of information, but I think was looking for the best big move he possibly could get for his son. And I don't think the coaches at West Ham believe that that's what some of the players should be doing at that level, because I think you can get, if you get found out at Championship level rather than getting found out at League One level, like your trajectory from trying to listen and trying to understand bits of information, it sounds like the trajectory isn't good from a higher place, if that makes any sense. You know, I think that's why they want them to go into a lower league.
Yeah. So basically,
what
you're saying is, if they
Are you
fail
saying
at
that
a
West
higher
Ham don't
level,
believe in good enough?
they fall a lot lower. They fall a lot longer.
No,
harder.
I think because I'm of the mindset that we should follow some of the mantra that European clubs do. So I agree with sometimes throwing a young player in to the mix to get the real avid experience that can help them grow as a person. And clubs in Italy do it in particular a lot. And there's one player, he's a goalkeeper, but we can talk about Donnarumma. Like, he's been around for years and the geezer's still only mid-20s. He's got like 500 appearances under his belt, about 100 appearances for Italy, and he must have started his footballing career at 19, and loads of European clubs do it, and in England in particular. And Russ has done a particularly really good show to show that, you know, West Ham aren't unique in this situation in the Premier League. All of the Premier League clubs are in the same boat. We tend to, as a nation, not feed the youth through dramatically to the levels that other people think they are. I do think they believe these players are good, but I think they've got a plan for how their progression is. And Abby Hammerette has nailed it on the head. Family agents aren't a good idea. And they're not, in my opinion, because I think they've got one mindset.
Can I ask you a question, Anton?
Yeah, mate.
So you're saying about like the levels and one thing and another, right? And as a fan base, we're saying Mubama, Marshall, whatever, we want to see them in the first team at the Premier League level. So is going to League One or wherever really the preparation for them to say, yeah, throw him is that the next step to the Premier League? I don't think Premier League 2 is, or whatever the under 23s is. I don't think it's a good grounding for those players.
No.
But I'm not sure that League 1 or whatever is, whereas like the Championship route, go there, do well, come back to the club more prepared for the Premier League. I think that is a better.
Well, the problem you've got is, I think the problem is when you look at Callum Marshall so far since he's been at West Brom, he's made something like 1 10-minute appearance, and the rest of them have been 1 minute appearances. So currently, Callum Marshall's not getting any football just now. Whereas at West Ham, he was getting at least development football and then first team squad experience. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm trying to base it on a mixture of, we've met with Tony Carr a couple of times. He's done a couple of shows with us, and listening to what his opinion on the West Ham Academy is, and when they think it's the right time to put a player in and it's not. We all know David Moyes doesn't utilise the squad to the level he does. So right now, under the West Ham current bracket, it's maybe a good idea that these players do go out on loan. And you see players like Freddie Potts flourishing right now. He is flourishing, but he is flourishing at a League One level. So I don't know how they manage that when he comes back, and do they then look at like putting him into the Championship then and see
and
if
that
he
was
does?
kind of the root of my question there.
Because then we could look at Connor Coventry and think, well, look what happened there, and look what happened with Josh Cullen, and it took for Josh Cullen to eventually just leave West Ham and go to Anderlecht, and well, yeah, I mean, his was a bit of, I think his one was a little bit of a different one, though, wasn't it? You know, I think there was there was family issues there, plus I think his head wasn't fully, screwed on. But I do, I think when Tony Carr was on, he was talking particularly about Alessi. He said that player was phenomenal, and was the next one to, in his opinion, dramatically step into the equation. But what was interesting was, do you remember we had loads of centre-back injuries and I think one suspension, and we were playing either Chelsea or Arsenal, and we needed a centre-back, and there was loads of talk about Alessi coming in, and then he didn't play Alessi. So that was very telling of what maybe David Moyes' system is, But then I'm trying to be practical on it. I look at all the other clubs, apart from maybe Newcastle putting out a couple of young players with 2 minutes to go. They don't not. Russ has got all the stats. I've not got them on me just now, but they don't have.
But it's like, look, we can have a great youth team and prospects. Prospects are prospects. It doesn't necessarily mean they can step from there into the Premier League game. It doesn't mean that. Certain clubs have got their superstar youngsters, right, and then they use them. Newcastle, as you said, Anna, they've done it with that boy. What's his name? He's done really well since I forget his name. Cracking. Liverpool got the youngster, Elliot. Brilliant. But these are quality players, man. I don't know if any of ours are at that level.
No, I agree with that.
And I think that when I look at like Harvey Elliott, for example, like he won't. I'll be really surprised if the only way he stays at Liverpool is when Klopp leaves, and a new said manager, if it's along the lines of Alonso comes in, he probably will give Elliott that complete and utter freedom, because Klopp, as much as he's a good manager, I genuinely think he builds his teams on big quality signings. Like, he's spent a lot of money to bring in these big quality signings and built this nurturing, like expensive football team. Whereas if you look at Xavi Alonso, as much as they've spent money, he's just built pieces of the jigsaw, and he's got a mantra, and he's got a youth, and he's got an attacking mindset. And so he's the sort of manager who'll look at Harvey Elliott and go, let's build the team around you, where Klopp wouldn't. Klopp would build the team around a Salah, whereas Xavi Alonso doesn't have the money to get a Salah, so has to build the team around the rest of the players. So I think players like that probably do kind of dwindle away at all those clubs. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the answer is when it comes to the youth. I would love to see us. Yeah, how can chucking in Mabama for a start of a Premier League game detriment him The difference is when you're down 3-0 at Old Trafford or 2-0 or whatever it was, and you bring Odubiki on, and then that was a disaster. That doesn't
bring
work.
him off.
Or Sam Allardyce in the FA Cup when he played all the youngsters and we got smashed 5-0 by Forest.
God.
But that's like throwing them under the bus.
Look,
I think there's a
as you know, look, the youth isn't always the answer. As much as we love seeing a youth player come on, it isn't the answer, right? But unless you've got an exceptional player that can do it, and I can understand Moyes sometimes not playing them. But in that game, if you just look at the Arsenal game, his mismanagement at that end of that game when we're 4 or 5-0 down, not to take Bowen off and throw Ingram or Obama on, not to give Cornet half an hour. It's crazy. To me, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. The game was gone. It didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
You bring on Cresswell.
Yeah.
What are you doing to Cornet's head, for one? You've really, to me, if I was Cornet, I wouldn't play again for West Ham. But why not save Bowen in case he gets an injury? That's common sense. Just throw Obama. It wouldn't have made any difference. It's madness.
It is, because I've come from a mindset of, Moyes indifferent, right? And people probably get fed up with the Moyes in, Moyes out, Moyes indifferent. But Moyes indifferent, I had this debate with someone recently in our chat, and it was all about what is Moyes indifferent. And I said, well, Moyes indifferent is I can be swayed either way. I'm just smack bang in the middle. Right now, up until 7 weeks ago, I was kind of okay about what was going on, as long as we were staying within that 5 or 6 spot, and as long as we still had European football. But what I've witnessed since hasn't been great. You can't help but think 5-0 loss against Liverpool in the League Cup. We threw that. Fucking disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
We threw it.
Fulham 5-0.
We got slapped by Fulham.
Yeah.
We lost to Bristol fucking City, and we had 2 legs to beat them, 1 at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this Arsenal.
An Arsenal one, which is fucking hell.
It was.
And
was.
Yeah, and absolutely unforgivable. And that's made me sway slightly onto the kind of Moyes out camp in terms of, right, okay, we're not going to get relegated. Mathematically, right now, as things stand, it's not confirmed, but we're probably not going to get relegated.
No,
yes, okay,
you've probably got enough points now, Anton. The way that's going.
Yeah, we're still in Europe, so the club don't take gambles because they're consolidating. But this is the worst time to consolidate. If you're going to take a gamble, in my opinion, the gamble should be taken now, because whoever you bring in, it's 6 months to bed.
Yeah, exactly. No, to me, this rest of this season, it's just going to be another dire rest of the season for West Ham. The Moyes out brigade will be far more Moyes out by the end of the season. The way it's going at the moment, we got rid of 4 players or so in that transfer window. We brought 1 loan player in that's not ready, who's not match fit. This is where we are. We're not playing Cornet. We are thin as thin can be, and we're playing poorly. We're defending poorly. So the season can't get better for me. It can only get worse.
I've got other concerns though about where the issue is, and this is part of the show tomorrow morning. So or this morning at 7:15. So in 7 hours time you'll see it. But my moan is about Sullivan, because I still
absolutely
I can't get my head around and comprehend when this man receives opportunities. When this man receives opportunities, he never grabs them. He never grabs them. Now, I'm thankful for, the last couple of seasons in terms of memories. Prague, never forget that. 6th, 7th, never forget that. But we've had opportunities last season at Upton Park.
Yeah.
And to progress when we're in the cusp of the Champions League, a January transfer window when we're close to the Champions League and we just have a chance to invest and we don't. And then this window again. And then the leaks coming out from the club. The leaks are just, it's mind-boggling. And we know particular people are the right-hand man to David Sullivan and to the media. And the stories that this man puts out, it's like he's throwing, honestly, see right now, I feel like he is throwing Moyes and Tim Steidten under the bus.
Absolutely, mate. He's trying to cover his arse. by blaming them.
It is a huge problem.
And that's
Sully.
Yeah, and that's the issue, isn't it? That's the issue.
And it'll always be the issue with him. Like I said, players, managers like Moyes revert to type. Sullivan always reverts to type. When it ain't going well, mate, he fucking throws them under the bus by his little leaks to his little favourites, right? Nothing's new there. It's the same as ever. And like you said, with that January window where we missed out where we could have gone on, we fucked it there. And this January window, my God, we fucked it. Saying I'll keep referring back to the rebuild we need in the summer. This could have alleviated some of that pain if we could have brought in 2 or 3 players. But we didn't. And now we'll see it. With that squad we've got for the rest of this season, how the hell do we finish in the top 10?
I'm starting to feel like that. I can't see that. And I'm sorry if I came on and I've just spoken loud and
fucked this show right up there.
No. I do need to go because I've got a really early morning start in the morning. But I just wanted to come on and say, like, I am as frustrated as any fan. I'm angry as any other fan. I do it in a different manner, but when it comes to my real anger doesn't really focus on David Sullivan because we know what we're getting with David Sullivan. We've known all along what he does. We've known his full career. He consolidates as a manager. So you know what?
Yeah, you
David
said Sullivan.
Moyes
You mean Moyes?
Moyes is very good for business.
Yeah,
absolutely, because he's came from making West Ham a potential relegation team, albeit Premier League last year wasn't great, to 3 seasons in a row European team. Yeah. And my concern is if we don't get Europe next year, it's 3 steps forward and 4 steps back.
Yeah. So he's good for business at the expense of any football or any enjoyment. Yeah. So you can take that any way you want.
But he is essentially very good for a businessman who runs a football club. Yes. You know, stop getting relegated, push yourselves up the team, get us qualified for Europe. Let's attract the best players. Let's sell more merchandise. He's nailed that down to a T. What we should do probably is go, thank you very much. Let's respect you. Let's leave it here. Let's move on. And that's the gamble. But that's maybe the gamble I wasn't willing to take. I am absolutely probably now more willing to take right now.
Yeah, mate, like I said, with that rebuild that's coming, mate, I'd love to see a manager have that next few months to have. It's more than just a pre-season, isn't it? It's, you've got to look at the players you've got, look what you need, work with Steinen, and if you brought that manager in, we might not lose Steinen, but there's every chance we could. Yeah. If this continues. And so I'd love to see a manager in now, but I don't believe they'll do that.
But what we do need is a Kieran to scout the next Ange, because he's the one that found Ange. He's the one that found Ange.
Mate, I even hear Liverpool sniffing him. Fucking hell, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
That'd be funny. If Ange went to Liverpool.
Oh, man, wouldn't you laugh?
Oh, that'd be funny. I'd piss my pants.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I agree. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna love you, leave you. Sorry, Budge. Sorry, Pauline. And
no, that's fine. Thanks, Anton. Thank you for joining.
See you in a bit, Anton.
And don't worry, I'll turn the lights off and that when I leave.
No, I've got to come on with a chat with you one day, Anton.
Yeah,
me and you have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can slag everyone off and put the world to rights. That'd be good.
Right, take it easy, lads. Come on,
See you, buddy. Take care. I just want to say a big thank you to the moderators in the chat for getting rid of the spam and stuff. I did notice it. I was about to act myself and it was done for me. So thank you. I would imagine that was either Happy or one of the others. Anyway, yeah. So, right. Okay. Well, look, guys, we've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. We've still got 113 people watching, which is really nice. That's just dropped down to 108. But anyway, real nice. I think it'd be about time for us to wrap things up. We'll have a little chat afterwards in the green room. Want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us. I want to thank Anton for joining us, and especially to you, Jeff. Thank you for
thanks
joining us.
Ever so much for having me, Budgie. I'd like to apologise for the chat because I haven't been able to really keep up with the comments because I've got to keep swapping my glasses around. So I haven't really been able to interact with that too much. So apologies to them. But thank you both so much for having me on. It's been really good of you. Thank you.
Good to see you, Jeff, and meet you, mate. Well done.
You too.
And good luck with your new channel, bro.
Thank you.
Don't forget, it's called the Bowling Lounge. Hang on. Let me just do that.
Jeff, where are you from originally, Geezer?
I grew up in Luton, just north of London.
Yeah.
And I live in East Sussex now, just outside of Rye, between Hastings and Rye.
Okay, mate. Gotcha. Luton Airport?
Luton Airport. I was bottom of the hill from Luton Airport. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Sweet.
And now he's like about 60 miles south of me.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway,
down towards Brighton.
Yeah.
It's further on than Brighton.
Yeah, further up the coast from Brighton, past Eastbourne.
Yeah. Right. Well, guys, thank you so much. We're not going to ask you too many questions about your West Ham history, actually, Jeff, because I want to do that on the in crowd.
What's your West Ham history, Jeff?
Shut your noise.
We haven't got time for it.
Sort that bloody magpie out,
I'm in my 50s, Kieran. We ain't got time for it.
The magpie saying goodbye.
Yeah, she's having a go because we're taking up all your time. Look, bless her. Right. Well, anyway, guys, just a quick reminder for those of you, 99 of you that are still watching. Here's a quick. There you go. The Bowling Lounge. Don't forget, get yourselves over there. Give the man a subscribe. There'll be a lot of content coming out fairly soon, and you can expect to see our ugly mugs on the channel at some point. And
Sure.
Jeff, good luck with that, mate. Hope it all goes well.
Brilliant.
Stay with us. I'll have a chat with you afterwards. And until next time, come on, you Lions.
Have it.
To the